Finally, welcome back to Kind of Funny's Conjuring Universe, Cinematic Universe in review. That's right. It's Cuckoo in review, baby. As always, I'm Tim Gettys, joined by big old Bathsheba himself, Greg Miller.
Yeah, remember when she did that? She jumped off. She went, eh.
The crooked man, James Willems.
I don't know what the sound of creaking. The sound of creaking.
Oh, there's a lot of that in this.
Creaking.
Then none, Elise Willems.
Picture frame moving close or far.
And of course, the old man from Conjuring 2, Nick Scarpino.
I'm old. My back hurts.
This Kind of Funny's in review, or each and every week we rank and review 2 different movie franchises. We're wrapping up Conjuring right here. Also later, we're going to be wrapping up the Ninja Turtle movies, and we're going to then continue all summer long with all the big blockbusters. We're going back to MCU in review for Black Widow. We're going back again for Shang-Chi, all that stuff. Any big movie coming out, if we've done it in review series before, we're coming back to do the new one then. You don't even need to ask. I don't know why people keep asking. We're going to do it.
Stop asking.
Stop asking. You know we're going to do it. Anyways, that's not what we're talking about today. Today, we are talking about Conjuring. All right. Of course, this show you can get on youtube.com/kindoffunny or roosterteeth.com. If you want to get it as a podcast, just search your favorite podcast service for Kind of Funny in Review, and we'll be right there for you. If you want to get the show ad-free and watch live as we record it, patreon.com/kindoffunny is where you want to be, just like our Patreon producers, Donovan Harkness and the protagonist have done. We appreciate you both so very much. And you are not going to have to hear the ads that we're going to tell you later, including HelloFresh stamps and Babbel. But for everyone else, you will. And that's okay. Because we're talking about The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. It had a runtime of 1 hour and 52 minutes. The exact same runtime as Conjuring 1. What a spooky coincidence.
Ooh.
It was originally slated for a September 2020 release, but it was delayed due to the COVID-19 pandemic. So then it was later released.
Oh, that's
June
kind of spooky.
June 4th, 2021. It was finally released in theaters and simultaneously on the HBO Max streaming service, which is where we all watched it, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yes.
Correct,
This
yeah.
was not a theater one for me. Directed by Michael Chavez, an American film director known for this movie and The Curse of La Llorona. Says a lot. Says a lot. This is the first Conjuring movie not directed by James Wan. This one had a budget of $39 million, and despite the Corona situation, box office of $160 million plus.
Huge.
Pretty
Can't
damn
stop it.
good, man.
People love The Conjuring. They love the cuckoo.
They love the
Love it.
cuckoo. Greg,
Get him
I know
done.
you love the cuckoo. What did you think about The Conjuring 3, The Devil Made Me Do It?
I had a great time with this one. I loved this one. This is a really good one. I had a lot of fun here. I thought the scares were really good. I thought it was nice to shake up the formula, even though I know it's technically only the third Conjuring movie, you know what I mean, in terms of Ed and Lorraine or whatever, but still to get it outside of what it's normally of, this family that's dealing with some kind of ghost that we got to go through. I liked the supernatural elements of it. I liked having the old witchy woman, as I'll call her in my my review. I liked having her on the other side, having it, an antagonist that Lorraine can confront in her visions. I thought that was a really cool thing. I thought it was I don't know. I guess actually Tim, because you just read it. But did the budget feel bigger for this? Because I felt like it seemed like there was more effects to it. I think the exorcism for the little boy in the beginning, and then Arnie in the end. The way they were doing the looked better than usual. I thought when the boy was pinned to the table and he was frothing at the mouth and breaking all over, and there was a whirlwind around him. I thought that looked really great. And then in general, I just appreciated having a grounded villain in terms of a person to go after that was doing something, making things happen, rather than Bathsheba or whoever we have to fight in the spiritual realm. I had a great time with this one. I thought it was a fun one.
Budget-wise there for you, Greg. This one is at $39 million. Conjuring 2 was at $40 million, but Annabelle was 6.5. Conjuring 1 was 20. So it's
Gotcha.
a little bit all over the place. Elise, what did you think?
The devil did not have to make me enjoy this movie, Tim, because I really did. And I guess I'm predisposed to like these movies. You're going to give me a mainline Conjuring movie with Ed and Lorraine Warren.
Yeah.
I'm going to enjoy it. Vera Farmiga, Patrick Wilson. These whole movies rest on their charisma, their dedication to these roles, which still, however many times they've played these characters in, you can tell that they're still really enjoying it, and they're still acting their hearts out. And what would we not do for the Warrens at this point? I just love seeing them.
True.
They're doing anything. It's a little bit of a procedural in the midst of a Conjuring movie, which was kind of fascinating. It went away from the traditional haunted house model of the previous two movies, so I love the haunted house scare movie, so I still was a little bit remiss that it wasn't that, but I had like a really, really good time. Greg pointed out my favorite moment of the movie, which was that exorcism. That boy contorting on the table was so great. There were a couple other little, I'm sure we'll talk about it later, but there was one moment where I was like, I feel like I really haven't seen anything like this in a horror movie that I appreciated. Yeah, definitely not the best of the three, but still, like, considering where we're at in that franchise, super solid.
James?
Yeah, I mean, I'm basically going to agree with everyone's sentiment here. I think we're already dealing with like a delicious chocolate cake, and now we've made it 3 times now. And of course, there's going to be differences of flavors, and you might have one was made by your grandmother on Christmas morning, and another was
James
the perfect
Wan.
one for Halloween. This one is someone just goes like, "Oh, by the way, I had this cake, and it's still really good." I think it's got all the pieces. I think if they decide to just keep churning these out like a machine, and they put this amount of effort into it, I will continue to enjoy them because it's got the characters, it's got good scare. They have yet to compromise on the scares, and I think you can tell the difference between this and some of the other ones we've talked about that are like off to the edge, and we're like, oh, we enjoyed it, but why did they make some of these decisions or whatever? This definitely feels like it was in line. I know it wasn't James Wan, but you can still see the reserved, slower take. The scares are not fake scares; they're there for a reason. Yeah, so I did enjoy it. I'm sure we're going to get into the nuances of that enjoyment with everyone here and how it ranks within everything.
Would you call it the death wish of horror franchises?
I don't know what that means.
Interesting.
Nick, what'd you think?
I echo everyone's sentiments. I liked it. I really liked everything that happens with Ed and Lorraine. So when we're with them, I think these movies are at their strongest. And this felt different to me. This felt more like a murder mystery where they were on the trail, and I really like that. I think that to the earlier statement that like, yeah, they're chasing an actual person here, makes the stakes a little bit higher for me, and I like that. And it gives them a little bit more. It's grounded in reality, right? You're basically, someone has a weapon that they're using. You have to figure out who, what, and why, and where. All the W's, maybe even sometimes how. But the one thing I didn't particularly care for the movie was anytime we weren't with Ed and Lorraine. I thought that they missed a huge opportunity where the kid was stuck in sort of the psych ward, and I just didn't care so much about what was going on with him. Like I didn't feel like I'm like, okay, well, if the devil kills this kid, I really don't care, or the demon kills him. It's not going to matter to me. It's more fun for me to see, if they can catch the person responsible for this at the end. And when I first started watching it, I got a little bit excited because there's that moment in the courtroom where she's like, we're going to have to claim like a not guilty by reason of demonic possession. And I was like, if that's what this whole movie's about, cool. That's awesome. Like, are we going to just be in the court and it's going to be them having to bring in all of these like evidence, exhibit A, like check this out. And your honor goes crazy. He's like, look under your desk. We fucking put the thing under there. He's like, oh my God, the thing was under there the whole time. But no, they're just like, he's, they're going to kill him. And you're like,
absolutely not. No, that's absurd.
We're not doing that. And again, I enjoyed the movie. I thought that would have been an interesting way for them to have gone with it, where Ed and Lorraine are out there, trying to get the evidence that the prosecutor needed to get him off the case. But alas, it was not to be.
Yeah, I think I enjoyed it significantly less than it seems like you guys did. I still thought it was good, and I would recommend people watch it. And I think it is significantly better than some of the movies in this franchise. I just think that when it's a Conjuring movie, when it has like one of the main Avengers level things, I feel like it was kind of a letdown because there was a lot of really intriguing promise. Like I liked there being a human villain. I liked that it was out of the haunted house, and elements of that worked, but I don't think they committed enough. And we're all saying it, but Ed and Lorraine are the stars. And it's like when they're not there, it's a little bit of a letdown. I think this one starts so strong with that exorcism. It is frenetic as hell. And it is terrifying. Like they actually did something we've seen before a million times, but like just played it out. And I honestly think it's one of the better exorcisms we've ever had in a movie. And they really like set the tone. But then after that, it just it starts to feel more of like a spinoff than a core one. And I feel like they've even nailed spinoffs more than this with some of the Annabelle movies. And I think that the Ed and Lorraine stuff could have been focused on more, and the stuff they focused on could have been better. Like the going back and seeing the flashbacks of how they met and stuff, like cool and neat, but it felt like too much of the movie to me. And I was always, when we were doing that, kind of like, I love you guys, but I'm not really loving this and how it's all tying in together and stuff. But I did think that there were scares that were pretty good, but they didn't really live up to the beginning of this movie for me.
You know what was interesting about those flashbacks, and I wonder if this factored in because I kind of got that vibe too, where I was like, "Oh, we finally get to like see this." It wasn't Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson. You
Really?
know, right? Like, what didn't they recast young people?
Yeah, they were
gotcha,
way
gotcha,
younger
gotcha.
actors.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like,
And they
Gotcha.
couldn't use Taissa Farmiga because they already used her.
so, but I
Exactly.
wonder, like, that is an interesting test. It's like an experiment within the movie where it's like, like it's not the names, right?
Mhm.
Like this is definitely because these actors have a charisma with not
Which is
only
so
each
true.
other but with the screen, and so it's like, oh, I would love to see them like when they first met and stuff like that. But then as soon as they show you and it's not those two actors, you're like, this could be anyone. You
Yeah.
know, like
I guess for me, being whatever it is, 7-8 movies into this franchise, and for a horror franchise that has the core titles and the spin-off titles, and the thing that brings them together is this scary ass room, I just feel like we're still waiting for the moment that room really has its moment, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like we always just keep adding, and it's like, oh, there's Annabelle. It's like, okay, but like we've seen that a million times.
I guess it kind of did in Annabelle Comes Home, where it's like we're getting a little bit more of those. But yeah, the room never has yet to really explode.
And they keep bringing people over, by the way. They're like, listen, get the lawyer over here. We'll show them the creepy room. They'll have to say it. So like literally every single person it's a revolving door of people just coming and going in there.
I will say though, there was nothing more hype, and it felt like a Conjuring moment that there was like the reveal that, oh yeah, the other guys, they have a room too. It's like, holy shit, that is awesome.
Oh yeah. There was for sure some interesting stuff in this movie about different paths that Ed and Lorraine could have taken or whatever. Because like, you know, obviously we get into it. They go talk to that other priest because they're trying to find any sort of insight, and maybe you know something about this. And then you find out that he essentially is like an older Ed. Like he also went down that rabbit hole and like made it his life's work and like made a whole thing about it, except that he didn't have Lorraine the whole time, right? Like he didn't have that support from Lorraine, and you can see how it corrupted him, like how he kind of got taken over by it. So it's like interesting to see the juxtaposition there. It's almost like if you guys aren't careful, you're going to be heading down this path. So I did like that element.
That's cool.
Even introducing the daughter right on his side, that's going to be the witchy woman, right? Of like, he has that great line to Lorraine, right? Of like, we have to be careful that our obsessions don't become our children's, right? And that's always been something with Judy. You talk about Annabelle Comes Home and the room coming to life there, right? And all the monsters inside of it there, like what she's going to shake out to be at the end of this, or as this continues, is something we have to wait and see.
I'm gonna tell you something right now. That kid's not. It's gonna be something with Ed and Lorraine's kid. It's not gonna be. She's not gonna be like, I'm going straight into being an accountant. No, it's gonna be freaky. It's gonna get freaky, ladies and gentlemen.
Some fun facts for you. So the actress that played Judy in 1 and 2 returned for this. She was recasting Annabelle Comes Home because the movie took place and she was way too young, but she made a return here, which is cool. Steve Coulter, this is the 4th movie he appears as Father Gordon. Conjuring 1, Conjuring 2, Annabelle Comes Home, and now this. And the little boy that plays David that got exorcised, what is Wiccan in WandaVision?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
One of Wanda's kids. So.
Also the something I saw was the that terrifying contortion of his body was real. That they hired a child contortionist, and it's like a little girl that can do all those things. I was watching video of it, of like her like crawling up the stairs backwards and spinning her head. It's all practical. No. But then they put the little boy's face on her. They did a face replacement.
Holy shit. I thought you were joking. That's crazy.
No, but all like the twists and stuff, like they didn't. They just did it. They just did it practically.
That's cool.
That's creepy.
I like that scene too. I like that scene a lot too. When they're like, and the kids like being dragged down the stairs, and the demons like clawing the walls and all that stuff.
Wolverine's
that whole thing was really really cool.
And then two little other facts. Kids. The Disciples of the Ram are talked about. It's the same cult that's in Annabelle 1. That's talking about where we see the killings happen there. And then at one point in the movie, Lorraine receives a bouquet of flowers from the parents. This is a nod to the family from Conjuring 1.
Oh,
that's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. Before we get to the plot, though, Barrett, can you run the video that explains why Andy's not here?
Hello, in review crew. Wow. Here we are, huh? Here we are at the end of a long journey that we've all taken together, hand in hand. 1 foot by by the next. You know, it's been awesome to be able to watch all these movies that we've watched together, right? And for us to reach the final conclusion of this franchise, of this quadrilogy, the Conjuring. It's been an honor. Quintilogy? I forget which number we're on, but it's been awesome sort of, you know, seeing the main character grow and figure out who they are, right, throughout all of this. Through so many moments. We've seen them since they were a child, right? Who would have thought they were so young, and now they're much older, you know, in a way, a bit older in a way. Sorry about that. I got a little bit emotional. Yeah, it's just it's crazy that I think there's been a really good character arc, and even to see the evil villain, you know, from the start to finish, also grow and learn from their mistakes, you know, conjuring everything it possibly can, and here we are, and what a stunning final conclusion. It's been an honor watching all of these movies, you know, and I would count the movies that we've reviewed here, but why even put a number on it, right? I just feel like that's so reductive for such a franchise that we've all watched. All of us have watched all these movies. So yeah, definitely rank 1 for me. That's a rank 1 for me for this one. So thank you for having me for this one, everybody. I love y'all. Miss y'all. Peace out.
Way Nick does, but that was one of those moments for sure.
Yeah. Like they said in Double Impact, there's 2 of them.
Yes, exactly.
Only James got that reference. Only James understood that.
Did anyone else notice the clock behind Andy constantly? The minute hand was constantly jumping around. I thought that was strange.
Yeah, that maybe the battery needs to be replaced. We're not quite sure on that.
He knows more movie. You know, he's freaky too.
With that, let's get to the plot. Nick, you have to give me the plot song because Andy's gone.
Oh, okay. Plot, 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 plot. Scary. Plot, 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 plot. Scary. Plot, plot, plot.
Do you know what the song is?
Very scary! Plot, 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 plot. It's July 18th, 1981. Nick, what was the #1 movie in America the week before?
Star Wars, probably.
Superman 2 for 4 weeks in a row, ladies and gentlemen, only to be dethroned by Raiders of the Lost Ark, which Superman 2 itself had dethroned 4 weeks before. I digress. We're at David's house, and this little kid, you might say, what a cute little munchkin. Let me tell you, he's got the devil inside him. This kid, he's there, and he's all like, oh man, he's got. I want to say he's cursed. All right, I'll spoiler alert. I want to say he's cursed because technically he's cursed, but we don't know that yet.
Say it. You can just.
I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say instead, David's there and he's possessed. All right, and people are like, whoo-wee, this kid's possessed. We got to get on this. You know what are we going to do and stuff. And so they're Ed and Lorraine are talking to him. It starts off all run of the mill downstairs, right, interviewing this kid. And he's all possessed or whatever. And then we get introduced to Arnie, who's not a blood relative, but he's banging David's sister. Mm-hmm. And so they're like, Arnie, put this kid to bed. And he's like, got it. He takes him up there and he's like, tosses him in the bed. He's like, you're a brave kid, David. David's like, thanks, I got small teeth. And so then outside, the father shows up. And
does he just say that all the time? Or is it just like that one time he says it?
It's one of those things, as kids get older, they learn new things and they become more aware of their tiny little.
You were about to say, as kids get older, their teeth get bigger. This kid, not that old.
Also true. There's a reason why when you find remains, you go look at the teeth, because teeth will tell you everything you need to know about a person. Mm-hmm. Period. End of story.
Just so you guys know, James and Elise, Greg hasn't been on in review for a couple months, it feels like. So this is definitely him.
Oh, okay.
Good. Okay.
Yeah,
teeth are the windows to the soul. Right? You got 32 little windows in there.
Teeth are the windows to the soul.
Blessing has 15 wisdom teeth. So father shows up and he's like, cool daddy O's, let's see what's going on. Arnie comes downstairs. He's like, cool daddy O, what's going on? And so like, David's up there. He's like, I got small teeth. And then he's like, he hears some noise or he goes to the bathroom. I forget which part it happens, but he ends up in the bathtub and he's all scared. He's like, oh, and he's down there. My teeth are so small. I hope they don't get smaller. And he looks up and they got the shower rings.
I'll have to eat applesauce.
Oh man, kids love applesauce though. Remember that Brady Bunch episode where Peter kept saying pork chops and applesauce? Remember everybody?
I always confuse the Brady Bunch episodes with the movies, which is much more of a parody of the show, but it's still good. Yeah. It's still good.
Fantastic.
Anyways, the demon puts its fingers over the top, and then the faucet gets turned on, and it's blood, and David's screaming, and the people run up there, and they're like, "What's going on in here?" And they like boom, boom, and the door's locked. They boom, boom, and they open up the door, and they find him, and he's in the bathroom, and he's like all small, and then he gets up all silhouetted, and it's creepy as fuck, and then he gets smashed. A bunch of stuff got smashed. It's all
great
torn
scene.
up.
Whole thing, great scene. Their hands going over the thing. Let's fucking go.
So good. And grabs the glass, stabs his dad in the leg. His dad drops to the floor, and he gets stabbed again by the kid. He's like, oh god, this kid stabbed me in the fucking leg with his small teeth. And they're like, all right, God. And so Ed, being fucking Ed, grabs. He's like, we gotta do this now, father. He's like, cool, I'll get the car. He's like, fuck the car, man. We gotta do this now. And they go down there and they throw all the shit off the table, and they like, fucking body slam this shit on the table.
Back of this bus.
Exactly. Show up in a taxi. What car is he talking about? Okay, all right.
They got plenty of cars in this house. You know how it is. This is an upwardly mobile family, unlike the Conjuring 1 family where you know, I gotta go drive the truck. Got Ron Livingston barely making this thing work. Yeah. God, I gotta drive this truck nonstop.
He's out there with a Fred Flintstone car. It's got no engine. He's just doing it by hand.
And so, yeah, boom, we drop the kid on the table, and we kick off, as we've already talked about, unilaterally, 100% agreed upon, the best exorcism in the Conjuring franchise so far. And like I said, it's swirling around. The camera guy who's been there from Conjuring 1, he's back. The camera falls over. We get the spinning into the thing. All hell's breaking loose. Father gets knocked out, gets beat up. I forget what happened. He gets knocked down at some point, though, and Ed's got to grab the Bible, the book, the good book, as you know, the Reverend would say. He picks up the book, and he's over there. Because, again, Ed is – I know I'm telling a tired story. Everyone on the face of the planet knows. Ed, this is Ed in the movie franchise, right? Mm-hmm. A lot like Brad Pitt. As we all know, Brad Pitt left the University of Missouri 1 credit short of graduating, right? And, I mean – every year, it seems, the University of Missouri hits him up, and they're like, ring-a-ding-ding, Brad. We will just give you the fucking degree. Come on back. And he's like, I'm good. Ed is the same way here about being a priest, where it's like, at this point, he's exorcising people at the Safeway. They're walking by. They're like, he's like, whoa, hold on a second. Let me do this. He breaks out the book, and he's like, I shouldn't do this, but this one time. And he does the cross, and he blesses the tomato, and everybody's okay. Like, Ed should just do it, you know, bite the bullet, get fully vaccinated or whatever it is to be exorcism ready and be ready to go. But he doesn't. He keeps half-assed and he doesn't believe in himself. Long story short, Brad Smith, come back to Mizzou and get the fucking degree. I digress. He's got the book. Father's over here. He pooped his pants. I forget what happened. And it's whizzing around. Everybody's doing stuff. And Lorraine, of course, she's there, hair up. And she's like, we got this. And then she's like, and she gets like, and she looks around. And what does she see? She sees a woman with a chalice.
Give me the one more time, please.
You know what I mean?
She turned into an old blind jazz musician.
What's amazing though is I know exactly what you're talking about. It's that shot of all of the camera like going wah wah wah, like
that's cool. She sees the chalice and she sees like the dark beads or whatever the fucking Satan people got these days. I don't know what's going on. And she comes back. She's like, oh, it's out of my head. Don't worry about it. Brain freeze. And so then they're doing the thing, and then the kid starts doing the crazy. He's laughing hysterically in the demony way. You know what I mean? He's foaming at the mouth. Then he starts doing the contortionist shit. It's just fucking creepy as all hell. And then the sister Betsy is not her name. Debbie. Little Debbie's yelling like, stop. It's like, Debbie, shut up. You know this isn't your fucking brother. All right. He's clearly a demon. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. He does the whole thing. He's cracking his back. He's doing the thing. Then Arnie, of course, big man on campus over here. You know what I mean? Not married into the family yet. He's got to try to earn his stripes over here. He's like, leave him alone. Don't do anything to him. And Ed's like, shut up, Arnie. Don't fucking talk to the demon. You don't talk to demons. Everybody knows this. This is like thing number 1. And then the kid does a
Arnie.
He does this fucking kickflip, this little kid with small teeth, right? And he lands on the table and he runs and he jumps on Ed and he's like, I'll stop your heart, old man. And you're like, whoa, this is fucking cool.
This is intense,
this
dude.
is cool.
It's intense,
right?
bro.
And he fucking pins him down. He's like, and then Arnie comes over and saves Ed's life by grabbing him. And he's like, you're shaking the kid by the head like a pumpkin, right? He's like, leave him alone. Take me instead. And Ed's like, no. And he's on the ground. You know what I mean? And Lorraine's like, everybody's freaking out. You know what? This is why it's it's a lot like Tim. It's a lot like Fast 3 through 9,
exactly.
Where these movies would be complete dog shit if you didn't love everything that came before them. Because here we know nobody's on their A game right now. You know, it's like Michael Jordan out there wearing number 45, just fucking airballing. That's not what it's about. We've seen them when they're number 23. People get this reference.
45, not 23.
Yeah, anyways, Demon's like, you got it, boy toy, and he shoots the shit into fucking Arnie's eyes now, all right? It's a cone of demon into his eyes, into the back of his brain. Ed's over here having a heart attack. Everybody's laying around. Father gets up. He shit his pants. He doesn't know what's happening. But it's like, you know what? All's well that ends well. That's what they feel on this one, right? And so here we go. You know, everybody's down. It's all done. Boom, title card. It's The Conjuring. The Devil Made Me Do It. By the way, we didn't give enough credit to the fact that it was a really good opening in general with like sound effects and the way the WB logo got all twisted around. We were right into this exorcism. Now we're right into The Conjuring.
We already get the waterbed part. Was that?
No, we have not.
Chronologically,
that had already happened in their timeline, but in our timeline,
Greg, do all the flashbacks all together, please. Thank you.
Yeah, please do the chronological.
Okay, so chronologically with the flashbacks.
No, I'm joking.
No.
Hold on, I got it.
So Ed was having a heart attack?
Lorraine have a
We're
gazebo.
only 90 seconds into this film, by the way.
Yeah.
I think I didn't have anything to do tomorrow.
Ed's in, we don't know that yet, but Ed's in the hospital. Spoilers. Anyways, Arnie is like, he wakes up in bed. He's like, what? And he's like, and little Debbie comes on and she's wearing a sundress. And I'll tell you right now, these two, sexual chemistry off the charts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You feel bad watching it because you know Arnie, he's going to have to answer for the crimes he didn't commit, but the devil made him do. When does he get to be in love again? It turns out at the end they got in love and he got off in 5 years for murdering somebody. That's fucking crazy.
Now, again, I want to throw this out there and ask every single person. If you knew that guy that he killed, would you press charges?
Hey, man, I'm drunk and I don't know what's going on. I'm sick. Oh, you don't like drinking? Let me fucking go to bed. Let me go to bed right now.
I'm going to dance with your girlfriend. I'm like, I got to take the buck knife out and just right at the fucking, you know what I mean? Like one of these things.
Wow.
Right into the cerebral cortex. Not kill him, but then he can't drive a car ever again.
I mean, I think it's as deep as you just pointed the tip of the knife, that is.
I don't think
you were just going through the mandible of the jaw, but you went all the way to the top of the forehead.
What part of you likes really loud music? That's what I want to cut out with that piece of shit guy.
Arnie gets woken up. She's there. Debbie's there. They live in a dog boarding house. These dogs are going crazy. We know why, of course, because he's got the beast inside him. These dogs don't like the beast.
Got the magic in him.
Every time I bring home a little bit of the beast on me, Portillo not feeling it.
Where location? I like this as a horror film set.
Yeah.
Oh, how do you think I beat you at Nidhogg that one time? You know what I mean? I make deals left and right with the beast over there.
The Dark Lord.
And so, okay, cool. The dogs are barking. Bruno sucks. And then Arnie's like, listen, we got the devil out of your brother. That was neat. And now it's like, why don't we fucking get out of here? Brookfield. Nothing's happening here. Everything sucks. And we live with a bunch of dogs. You know what I mean? There's got to be a better life.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. This neighborhood ain't what it used to be. The devil's just moving in left and right. Yeah. And she's like, we got no money. We can't do that. I just got this job where we live inside the place with the job. So that's something we can't just bail on. So like, let's just chill out. All right. Slow your roll. And he's like, all right, cool. And so then we probably pop over to the hospital. Maybe. I don't think so. But it's like, we're getting this like everything's hunky-dory kind of thing. Maybe, yeah. Mm-hmm. We did. Lorraine and the priest are over there. And Lorraine's at Ed's bedside. And we get the whole thing of like, yeah, he's still unconscious. He got bopped, but he should probably be okay. Or maybe this is where the doctor tells him that it's like he had a heart attack and it's going to be a thing. Doesn't matter. Ed's over in the hospital, everybody. He's laid up. Back then to Arnie and little Debbie. They go over to the house. They're having a fun little play session with David. They're barbecuing. Everything's back. Everything hunky-dory. No more demons here, everybody. And then Arnie's like, I'll go inside and get some meat. And so he goes inside to get the meat. And when he's in there, cereal box get knocks over. And like, here we go, everybody. Fucking demon. You know what I mean? This demon is inside the body. No, it was a rat. And he sees this rat run along. And then it runs up the wall and it runs into this little rat hole. And it's all gross. And it's black and it's gooey. And Nick, what's this hole look like?
Oh, I'm not going to tell you what the hole looks like, Greg, but I will say this. Can we just agree across the board? Don't look in the hole. Never look in the hole.
Oh yeah.
Two things. Don't look in the hole and stop
but
laying up our boy. Okay.
I'm kind of a hole. I like to peek in the hole.
You might look in the hole, and the rat's got a little miniature restaurant in there.
I was gonna say you never know what you got.
Fuck, now I gotta check. Now I gotta check. You're right. I didn't think about that. You know what I mean?
Damn it.
Arnie doesn't listen to us though. He looks in the hole. Nothing bad happens to him. And you're like, oh man, dodge that one. If he steps back, boom, witchy woman right there. And she grabs him. She's kind of like, I'm the witchy woman. He's like, oh, and he drops. And he's like, whoa, there's no witchy woman here. I guess it's okay. I won't tell it. I know this entire fucking family, everyone here just saw an exorcism, saw a demon, the kid slashed the walls. We saw all this shit.
Yeah.
That everyone understands this. I will say nothing to any of them about what's going on with me.
Can't
right
trust
now.
them.
I don't want to worry them. That's
They
what
never
that
understand.
I said. Take me, took me. I don't want to worry anybody about that.
Shout out to this movie though for keeping the family a like reasonable size. You know, because we're not dealing with like 14 siblings this time.
The 80s.
That's the clown car of the girls
Yeah.
coming out of like, here's
all
my second,
sisters all
third
look
daughter,
exactly
fourth,
the
fifth.
same. Yeah, it's brutal.
So yeah, he totally doesn't do anything about that, and he's just like, "It's chill, no big deal." Then we probably bop back to Ed and Lorraine here, where Ed's still laid up, and Lorraine's like, "Oh man, maybe this is where she tells the gazebo story," because they dropped that flashback early of like, "We love gazebos. It rains, and we go in gazebos." Of course, the gazebo, famous Warner Brothers set piece, if you remember. I've been on the tour, private tour. Everybody, don't worry about that. I saw the gazebo. I believe it was in Star Hollow in that one show people like, Gilmore Girls, I believe is what it was called. And then some other. Anytime you see a gazebo in a WB thing, it's shot right there, though. There's the end of your movie magic. Don't worry about it. All right. Anyways, then we bop back, and guess what? Arnie's like working through it. All right, cool. I got a demon inside me. I can feel it, but my job is being a chainsaw man, and I'm gonna keep being a chainsaw man. You know what I mean? This is a job. We're barely making it work. I want to get out of here. We're broke as a joke, but if I cut down 3 more trees, I'll have enough to get a tank of gas and a tire, and I can roll me and little Debbie out of here. You know, greener pastures.
Roll us out of here.
So he's up in the tree. You know what I mean? And then, like, but we're the viewer, and we can see the house behind him. What do we see? Witchy woman in the back. She ain't about this life. And so the thing shorts out the chainsaw, and he's like, oh, there's like some smoke. And he's like, oh. And then he's like, wait, what's that behind me? And he looks back. He's like, oh, man, no witchy woman back. Chainsaw starts up. And he's like, whoa. And he drops the chainsaw, almost kills his foreman down there. He's like, what the fuck, Arnie?
Like, you just dropped a fucking chainsaw. Like, there's nothing scarier than that, where it's like, oh, man, this job's not worth it. Period.
Yeah.
No, yeah. If a chainsaw might fall on my head, I'm not going to probably do that job if I can avoid it.
Sure. But, you know, these were a different time. There was no internet. There was no TikTok. They couldn't go get a brand deal about chainsaws. They had to use chainsaws. So that's where we're at.
Let me ask you this question. If someone said, Greg, my stereo's broke, I need you to fix it. Do you think what is a percentile chance you're fixing that thing versus breaking it more?
I mean, me or like me now or me back
I
then?
give you a buck knife
like
and I say, Greg, it's 1981. You just got back from Superman 2. You're fucking juiced on everything right now. Here's a buck knife. Fix my stereo. What do you think?
Out there fucking some shit up. I think honestly, I'd probably be able to. I mean, I don't know what the problem is. That's never really. We just know it's on the fritz, and that he uses a knife to open up the back of a speaker. I've opened up the back of a speaker and connected wires before, and I feel like it'd be a similar situation here where you do the thing where you like touch it and you can hear it come through the speaker a bit.
Yeah.
I feel like if there's in 1981, it's not like I have a lot of video game options at it's not like right now, right? It's not like I have all this internet at my disposal. I'm probably taking a cord out of my gourd.
Someone would ask you to fix a speaker.
Totally, right? Yeah.
That was your time to shine.
It's hot. All these damn dogs. Anyways, that's exactly what happens. Arnie rolls up in his truck. He looks like he's got the COVID. You know what I mean? He's all sweaty. He's gaunt. He's disgusting. And Debbie immediately is just like, why home? And then like totally doesn't, I don't feel well. Whatever, cool. And then, Bruno shows up. And Bruno, of course, he's looking like a not great guy already. You know what I mean? He's got his beer. He's hanging. Like, again, think of the last time you saw your friend and they were sick. Like real sick, like flu sick. You putting your arm around him, you trying to get him to come drink a beer? What kind of person are you? But Bruno doesn't care. He's got to listen to his REO Speedwagon. All right?
That's where the dog.
Exactly. So, Bruno convinces him to go in there and start working on the thing. This is where we start getting Arnie's feeling weird and we're getting weird vision and wobbly cameras and stuff. About this time, Ed wakes up in the hospital And his first thing is like, Lorraine, call was the Gadsby's, whatever these people's last name was.
The demon.
Call the great Gatsby's. And she's like, no, we got the baby. We got the baby. We got the demonada. We got the demonada, David. He's like, it's not David. It's in Arnie. And it's like, fuck yeah. You know what I mean? Think about when you wake up and how disoriented you are. Ed went offline with a major heart attack and he came back and he's like, I remember the exact fucking moment. Demons. Yeah. And so he's like, okay. She's like, all right, cool. So she calls over to the house, maybe the house they're at, and it rings and they don't hear it, or maybe I'm making that part up. But eventually she calls the police and she's like, I know it sounds crazy. Bad shit's about to happen at that dog place. And they're like, yeah, no shit. Dogs suck. Like if you put 30 fucking dogs into a 2-bedroom house, you're going to have problems. But we'll go investigate it for you, lady.
I'm sorry. Anyway, is that your example of why dogs suck?
I'm saying if 30 dogs on top of each other in a 2-bedroom. Yeah, I dial it back. You know, I own a dog and I like my dog and I like Lulu and I like Moose. Don't worry.
There would be a smell factor for sure.
Not a consider. What about oh my god, there'd be such a smell.
Yeah, it's quantity.
Yeah.
It's too much.
Yeah,
it's a lot. It's a lot of dog hair. A lot of fluff.
Yeah, I mean, imagine right now if Tim was podcasting and in the other room, like right behind him, he's got 30 mooses in cages. You know what I mean? Like that's not gonna be good for anybody.
That's the dream.
Yeah. That's a dream. That would be amazing.
What happened yesterday, Greg, when Moose and Porty hung out?
Porty did not care about Moose, and Moose in the beginning didn't care about Moose, or I'm sorry, about Porty. But then eventually, when we wouldn't feed Moose, he started barking at Portillo. Or not even, he was barking around Portillo, he's barking at us to feed him. And so eventually we're like, all right, we'll put Porty away, try to calm him down. That way we could put Moose's food down too. And so we did that. And Moose didn't have that much interest in his food. And then when we were saying goodbye, I was like, wait a second. And Moose had peed on Porty's food bowl in some kind of weird, like, I'm going to try to take dominance.
Dominant.
That's the thing. This prince trying to take down the king. It's not going to end well for him.
Senior abuse.
Senior abuse.
Porty cared, minded not at all, so it was fine.
Yeah. What is it? Marinade?
On eating.
Anyways, yeah. So things are escalating now. And yeah, you know, it's starting to get crazier. And Bruno's like, yeah, let me dance with little Debbie here. Blah, blah. I love cream pies. You know, little Debbie cream pies. You know what I'm talking about. This sounds gross, but that was the point. But then if you don't know the reference,
I'm so glad you said that because I was like, whoa.
What about a good oatmeal cream pie from Little Debbie, though? You know what I'm talking about? Remember when somebody sent us a bunch of those at the studio?
I think we could just say little. I think we could just say cream pie. I don't think we have to put a name associated with that or a size.
You know what I'm talking about. It is a brand name.
I don't. I know it's. That's all I know. I don't know anything about Little Debbie or her cream pies.
You do. We had these in the studio.
Did we?
It sounds like you guys got a bunch of cream pies at the studio.
James, at the old studio, we were getting cream pie left and right.
Wow.
Oh man,
cream pie everywhere.
Out of every pie.
Why did they make it to the new studio?
I think
we ate up all those cream pies.
Yeah, someone put their
mouth.
We just sucked the filling out of those cream pies. We did that to the plot. Anyways, so Bruno's dancing with Little Debbie, and then Arnie starts freaking out, and he starts like seeing things, and so something bad's happening, and so then it looks like the demon version of Bruno has Little Debbie, and he's like, not on my watch, and so he rips Little Debbie away, and then runs through into the dog cages, and all the dogs are barking at him, and she's like, we get the cut back of like everything's fine, it's not what he thought was happening. She's like, Arnie, please don't do this, or whatever. And like they run down the thing, and like she runs away, and he falls down, and then he lays there, and all the dogs are barking, and it goes really dark, and then it goes kind of red, and the demon version of Bruno runs, and and he stabs Bruno, or the demon Bruno. And then we cut, and it's the police car driving to the scene of the crime, but it's Arnie walking the other way, and the police car stops, and then he comes over, and Arnie's like covered in blood. He's like, I think I heard someone or whatever. And they're like, you're going to jail. So that's like the Law and Order.
Well, and the police officer, by the way, doesn't notice. He's walking facing the police officer covered head to toe in blood, but then the police officer drives back and he goes like, is there a problem? And it isn't until he turns around again that the police officer goes, oh my god, you are literally blood head to toe.
I loved this because the shot of him where he's possessed and he's walking and he looks like he's stunned and he's covered in blood, I like that so much.
Yeah, it's really well done.
Daytime scares,
baby.
Then we're in lockup. He's being interviewed by the Warrens. They have a whole bunch of like crosses and stuff, and they make him read the Bible, and he can do all this stuff no problem. And so it's this thing of like, we haven't seen this before. You know, usually when you're possessed, you can't read the Bible, you can't piss standing up, and you can't look at the cross like this. But Arnie's like, I can do all these things right now, and they're like, this is not good. Nick from kindoffunny.com.
Do you think they were excited by that? We're like, wow, this is something we've never seen before. We've been doing this for 35 years, and this is exciting for us.
Yeah, and they banged after. They're like,
At least I'm gonna need you to bring that back as a callback to the Little Debbie cream pie joke, please.
Yeah.
when you guys ate them at the office.
Ed's like, I could go for a cream pie right now.
There you go. Right there. Very bringing it right back up.
Oh man. So yeah, they're like,
I
well,
need a
this,
gazebo to cream pie in.
this doesn't prove or disprove that he wasn't possessed or whatever, but like he's not possessed right now, so that's a quandary for us to figure out. But we'll keep hacking at this. So then they go and talk to the lawyer, and the lawyer's like, listen, you were telling me you want me to go in front of a judge and say these people, no, we don't. This isn't something that you're gonna get laughed at. And Ed's like, of course, oh well, in the history they've done it this time and that time. She's like, yeah, but it didn't work and this, that, and the other. And she's like, of course, don't believe in the devil. And he's like, every time you go in there, you swear in a Bible to hand to God. And I think it's about time. What I wrote down a quote here. Hold on. I think it's about time.
While Greg looks for
the
that,
devil.
Let me tell you about our sponsors.
Wow.
This podcast is brought to you by HelloFresh. What is HelloFresh? With HelloFresh, you get fresh, pre-measured ingredients and mouth-watering seasonal recipes delivered right to your door. Skip the trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. There's something for everyone to enjoy with all recipes designed and tested by professional chefs and nutritional experts to ensure deliciousness and simplicity. Enjoy a wide variety of easy, delicious options for 3 meals a day, plus every snack and special treat in between with HelloFresh Market. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Greg. I love to cook, and one of the things that got me started on cooking was these kind of packages, right? HelloFresh sends you the pre-measured ingredients. You get the instructions. You pick ahead of time what sounds good. You don't have to think on the day of. You just go straight down the checklist. You make something good, and you learn how to cook. You learn new methods. That's why I love it. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, you can go to HelloFresh.com/morning14 and use the code morning14 for up to 14 free meals plus free shipping. Again, that's HelloFresh.com/morning14 and use the code morning14 for up to 14 free meals plus free shipping. HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit. Our next sponsor, why it's Babbel. This summer, get the most out of your travels abroad by learning the language of the destination you're going to with Babbel, the #1 selling language learning app. From ordering in restaurants or asking for directions to gaining a deeper understanding of the culture, Babbel makes the whole process of learning a new language addictively fun and easy with bite-sized lessons you can actually use in the real world. Babbel is a can't-miss travel essential. I'm not even traveling with it. Instead, Jen's mom from the one and only Quebec coming down here. I've been using Babbel. I signed up for Babbel. I'm gonna see if I can talk to her a little bit more in French than usual because I usually can't, but I've been doing Babbel because unlike the infamous language classes you took in high school, Babbel designs their courses with practical, real-world conversations in mind. Things you'll get to use in everyday life. With Babbel, you can choose from 14 different languages, including Spanish, French, Italian, and German. Babbel's speech recognition technology helps you to improve your pronunciation and accent. Right now, when you purchase a 3-month Babbel subscription, you'll get an additional 3 months for free. That's 6 months for the price of 3. Just go to Babbel.com and use the promo code MORNING. That's BABBEL.com, code MORNING for an extra 3 months. And our final sponsor of the day is Stamps.com. Ladies and gentlemen, are you still going to the post office, still paying full price for postage? Well, thanks to Stamps.com, you don't have to anymore. Mail and ship anytime, anywhere, right from your computer. Send letters, ship packages, and pay less, a lot less, with discounted rates from UPS, USPS, and more. Of course, when we were still in the office, one and only Joey Noel was using this to mail out all sorts of stuff for Patreon. We love Stamps.com. Stamps.com brings the services of the United States Postal Service and UPS right to your computer. It's a must-have for any business, whether you're a small office sending invoices, a side hustle Etsy shop shipping out orders, or just navigating this hybrid work life. Stamps.com can handle it all with ease. Stop wasting time going to the post office and instead go to Stamps.com. There's no risk. And with our promo code KINDAFUNNY, all one word, you get a special offer that includes a 4-week trial plus free postage and a digital scale. No long-term commitments or contracts. Just go to Stamps.com, click on the microphone at the top of the homepage, and type in KINDAFUNNY. That's Stamps.com, promo code KINDAFUNNY. Stamps.com. Never go to the post office again.
Sorry, now back to you, Greg. What was the quote?
So he's like, I think it's about time the court accepts the existence of the devil too. And she's like, how are you going to convince the court if you can't convince me? And Ed's like, listen, why don't you come on over for dinner tonight? We'll show you around, introduce you to Annabelle. And if you don't believe us, we'll fuck off and never come back. And so then we jump cut to the courtroom where she's all like shell shocked, already sitting there. I like this. I like that joke a lot.
I know.
It got a laugh out of me, a chuckle or whatever. She's in court for assault. But yeah, as Nick mentioned earlier, when he's like, how do you plead? And she's like, we plead not guilty by demonic possession, right? Yeah, demonic possession. And it's like, all right. And Ed and Lorraine walk out, and it's very Law and Order. You're like, all right, cool. Now the real work begins. We got to get to the bottom of how this happened and what the hell's going on over there. So then they go to the house with little Debbie, and she's like explaining when they first moved in. And this is where we get the waterbed scene. So we get a flashback of everybody moving in their boxes. Arnie and little Debbie going to go make their own cream pies upstairs. And then David's like, wow, wowie, wow, big old house for me to explore. I'm going to go straight to this waterbed. I got small teeth. And you know what I mean? He runs in there with his tiny ass toothbrush. And he's like, wowie, zowie, a waterbed. And he climbs on that, and he's just like, wow. And he's laying there or whatever. And then boom, like, you know, the head like comes up a little bit. And he's like, what the hell? I'm sorry, Nick, yeah?
When are Greg, in your best guesstimate, when are waterbeds going to make a comeback?
Never.
When do we get them?
No, that's something I don't think anybody misses.
Not at all. And I can say that definitively because my dad had one my entire life.
So did my parents. I loved it.
And that's why I don't trust my father. There's something fucked up about somebody that would buy a waterbed.
Well, also when you sell your home and you say you'll leave it behind, I mean, arguably it's easier to take with you than a regular mattress. You just drain it out and then you fold it up in a backpack.
They probably asked them to throw it in.
Oh, you think they negotiated for the bed?
Listen, it really ties the house together. You know what I mean? We want you to make it nice and tidy and then drag a garden hose through it to really make yourself feel like you're living a high-class life.
I think I would have probably negotiated they fix the wood floor from the demonic scorch marks that are on it. That's the thing I would have asked for.
Does anybody know if it's Nightmare? Is it Nightmare on Elm Street 4 that has the waterbed?
I wanted, my gut said 3, but it's definitely in that middle group of movies. I want to say
it's the first one, isn't it? Isn't that when?
First one has a regular
water bed. That's right. The first one's a regular bed. Yeah. I think it might be 3.
And she gets shot up.
And she's in the bed, right? When they pull the sheets by, and they look, and she's like stuck in the waterbed, like inside the thing. Isn't that how it works?
This made me think of.
Yeah, that was crazy. That's crazy. That shit fucking.
Yeah. Oh, this was a good one for that for sure.
So yeah, he gets scared. And there's things grabbing him, and yada yada yada. He falls back, and he's all screaming. The bed, gets all wet or whatever. And so then it's back to little Debbie explaining this, and they're like, "Wait, what?" And like, "What about the?" This is when they were talking about the scorch mark or whatever. And she's like, "Oh, we didn't see it till we moved the bed or some shit like that." And they're like, oh, wait, maybe it's under the house or whatever. So, of course, Ed's got a cane now because he's got this bum ticker. And Lorraine's like, I'll go under there. Don't worry about it. And he's like, are you sure? And she's like, it's 1981, Ed. All right. The women's movement is past. I can go into the goddamn house. And she goes under and immediately gets scared by a rat or a spider. Rat. Yeah. But then she advances further into it, finds a whole bunch of rats just like not acting like rats. You know what I mean? They're acting weird, like they're worshiping something. They're scared of something. She pushes them out of the way a little bit, gets over there, finds this totem, right? A little skull, some sticks and bones and shit. And it's like, oh shit, fuck. They pull that out and they're like, listen, this ain't normal. This ain't the normal stuff we do. You know what I mean? There ain't no Bathsheba making these fucking things at a craft fair and putting them out. Somebody put that there. That's what's happening. They don't say curse yet, but that's what we're leaning towards. You got to curse. So then now they take a bunch of photos of it and they're like, Ed's like, hey, one guy, the cameraman, get this to every police station in here. Start locally. We'll start spreading out. Anybody who will listen, let's get it out there and see who's got some stuff going on about it. And cameraman's like, got it. And then, the priest from before, he's recovered from pooping his pants. And he's like, listen, on top of the police station stuff, that's a great idea. There's another father who did the disciples of the Ram people. He fought with them. This is some satanic shit. If I've ever seen it, he would probably know something about that. And they're like, got it. Good tip. We'll go talk to him. So they go talk to him. And he looks like fucking Children of the Corn kind of fucking farmer when they show up. You know what I mean? He's looking like Herman Munster from Pet Sematary, the original. Like he's like up to something. You know what I mean? But he leads him inside and then downstairs and then to his creepy vault room. And immediately Lorraine's got the heebie-jeebies. She's like, I don't want to be down here. I'm already getting some bum vibes off this. You know what I mean? They're harshing my mellow down here. Yeah, Nick.
Now, of course, at least we know him from
Fringe.
Of course.
And not at all from that second Lord of the Rings movie that you love.
No, I was thinking of Jericho. That's why I got confused with Fringe.
Who's Jericho?
Who's he in Fringe?
He's not in Jericho.
He was the dad. He's played Walter.
In Fringe, he was the dude.
Oh, he was the
Or
scientist.
Warehouse 13. He's not in Warehouse.
I like that
naming
actor.
shows that are within that category. What's the one with Anthony Michael Hall where you can see the few Millennium? He was in Millennium, I think.
You mean Dead Zone?
Oh, God damn.
What was
Remember
Millennium?
where Anthony Michael Hall, he died for a split second or whatever, and then he came back and he kind of like get Ghost kind of help him do shit.
Oh, Millennium has Lance Henry, right?
Yes. Wait, the movie or the show?
The year.
The show, right?
I didn't. Yeah, I just know the movie with.
I was thinking Bicentennial Man. Sorry, I was thinking Bicentennial.
Damn it, that's what we're all thinking.
Yeah,
great movie. So yeah, they go down there, and yeah, it's like we're talking about. It's like, you know, he's got his own little vault. It's down there, and he's like, "Listen, I've fucking gone toe to toe with Satanists. All right, you guys are dealing with ancient, you know, Sumerian demons and shit. That ain't nothing. All right." That's like fighting a sea monkey compared to fighting King Kong. All right. And I've been fighting King Kong over here. I fucked up my entire life doing it. Congratulations to me. But he's like, yeah, you know, you're going up against a master Satanist and they can do all sorts of crazy shit. Like you can grab a rope and it'll turn into a snake, that kind of shit. And they're like, oh, fuck, that's fucked up. Well, thanks for telling us. So I gives him that information, maybe a little bit of a point in the direction, but maybe nothing. I can't remember. But he's established that he knows Satanists. These are Satanists, and you got some serious fucking problems going on. Meanwhile, the witch is at work, and she does shit to Arnie. This is where he's mopping, and like she like has the lights go off, and the guy jumps up, and he's like, oh, and they come in. He's like, oh, she was here. It was here. And like, all right, get in solitary confinement, you psycho. You know, we ain't got time for you. Can't even mop a floor. I'm giving you way too much leeway as a murderer. Yeah, one job, right?
Come on.
From there, don't tell me. From there, we're back to the Warren's house.
I think they get the call.
That's when the show becomes True Detective.
Yeah, where they're like, someone saw this, and then they go to the other detective for the two kids out in the forest.
We found one of these.
Yeah, no. I'm getting there. Let me get there. Yeah. I said, don't tell me. Then y'all want to come in and fucking tell me.
When did you watch this movie last?
I watched it I watched it before this again.
Okay.
I watched it day of morning.
You were just pulling this out from 3 weeks ago.
I want you to know, I'd like to think I have a good track record on in review of being able to remember stuff. But like this morning, I did wake up and I had broad strokes, but I didn't have enough. So I watched it at like 2 times speed with the PlayStation thing, skipping scenes ahead. I'm like, all right. So this is where the thing happens with the flowers coming in to establish that flowers come in, and it's the callback to the first family where they're like, listen, he's been driving 15 more trucking routes so he could buy fucking flowers for you. Thank you. But yeah, this is where they establish they get a phone call. Money. They get a phone call. They have a hit. This the detective in Danvers, Massachusetts. Why do I remember Danvers, everybody? Why do I remember Danvers?
Danvers, Captain Marvel.
I was gonna go Linda Danvers, Supergirl, but that also would work, and I appreciate your candor. From there, see candor. Bottle City. Anyways, from there, the detective, he's got a case. He's seen the thing before. Come on over. So they come on over and they're like, cool. Thanks for inviting us to Danvers, Massachusetts. We'd love to see all the shit. And the guy's like, great. I don't believe in your shit. Fucking not. I'm not. Why would I want to help you? Like, sit down and like, you know, prove it. And here are 3 knives. And one of these knives was a bad knife. And Ed's like, I'm not gonna fucking let her. And then Lorraine's like, it's this knife. And they're like, fuck, that was the knife. And then it was
here are 5 knives. You're like,
we get suspicious minds from Elvis Presley as they drive out to the crime scene, where it's revealed, yes, there was these 2 friends had gone out into the woods. They found one of their bodies stabbed 22 times. They haven't been able to find the other girl's body, or her, I guess. But when they went to her house, they found the same totem or whatever. So they walk through the woods. Detective still doesn't believe shit. Lorraine gets to a spot and she's like, something bad happened here, Ed. And she kneels down and like it gets dark and shit. It's a cool effect or whatever. And then the 2 girls run out and they're just having a hunky-dory time in the woods. And then the one girl just flips the fucking switch and stabs this girl 22 times. And then we cut back to Ed and the cop and they're watching Lorraine like pantomime this whole fucking thing. And then she's stabbing. And then like Lorraine pops up and she's like, peace. And she just fucking runs. You know what I mean? Runs as fast as Andy runs in England, just poof, gone, you know?
This scene is a perfect example of like, you got to be in and it's awesome. But if you start just thinking about it for a second, it's just hilarious. But thankfully, they've built our trust where I'm like, I'm in. I love this. I love the way they shot it. I loved the lighting of it all. And like, it was scary enough to if you take it in the scary way. Otherwise, it is silly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when they cut back to broad daylight and Lorraine like... I was like, oof, that's a hard thing to show on celluloid and not make it look goofy. So she takes off running, and Ed can't run because of his bum ticker, but he tries. Detective, I don't trust you weirdos. I don't know what you're doing, so I'm not going to really run either. Lorraine run, and then she stops at the last second, and there's the edge of the bluffs or whatever, and then Ed calls her back, and she's fine, and then it's like, okay, cool, yeah, the body's going to be down there, and the detective's like, okay, cool, and then we jump, and they're combing the lake, they find a body, and like, we did it twice already, and we never would have found it if it wasn't for you guys. You know what I mean? It's just like, you've earned my trust. I'll give you the police file in the morning and everything. You can look down and do the thing there or whatever. And she's like, all right, cool. Meanwhile, over at the prison, I think I missed it somewhere earlier. Because now Arnie's in solitary confinement. But at some point, little Debbie and little David had come to visit. And again, Arnie he's starting to look like fucking Lurch from Addams Family. He's all white. He's got the big bags. He's all gaunt. And he's like, everything's totally fine. Don't worry about me, little Debbie. Yeah. Don't worry about me. It's cool in prison. And then he's like,
this is what I want.
Yeah, I'm enjoying this vacation. I have to cut down trees. Little David though looks at him, and he's like, "You're cold." Yeah, I remember what it was like to be cold and never alone. And you had the fucking demon inside you. I was like, "Oh no, the demon." And so then we go when he's in solitary confinement. After that, the priest maybe gives him the. I'm just gonna say it. The priest gives him the holy water here, and is like, "Yo, man. Fucking, you can protect yourself in prison against the demon this way." And he's like, thanks, man. I hate the demon. Then at the hotel, Ed and Lorraine are sitting there recapping their bluff running exercise or whatever. And this is where Lorraine's like, this shit isn't a demon straight up. It's a curse. We got a curse on our hands, and like curses are crazy. And it's going to be hard to find information on this. But if the body they just found really is the girl who died and was cursed, if we go and touch her, the line might still be working. Maybe she didn't hang up the receiver. We're going to pick it up. We're going to be able to see into the witchy woman who's doing all this stuff.
Did we miss the part where he attacks her in the house with or you talked about it briefly, right? With the flowers and he drops the vase.
We're not there yet.
I thought that happened before this.
No, because the witchy woman needs to meet Lorraine and be like, how are you doing this in a fucking awesome scene? Right. And that establishes that, oh, wait, people are on my trail. And that's when she goes and she can do one better.
Right.
It's great stuff. Great movie. So yeah. Okay, well, cool. We'll go fucking touch this body. And so they go to the funeral home and like nobody's there, and Ed just breaks and enters because like I get it. I mean, you know what I mean? Like he's up against the forces of evil, but still,
dude,
like
I'm a spiritual detective, bro. I have probable cause. I'm going in there. It's not
my jurisdiction is wherever the spirits are. All right, I'm here to protect jurisdiction.
Tim.
Happy to be. I talked to Woody.
Don't worry about it. It's a stupid joke.
Okay, they go down there and they go into the funeral home, and then they go where they keep the bodies. The morgue. No, I guess it's funeral home. Is the morgue in the funeral home, or is that someone else?
The morgue's usually in the home. I guess it can be,
but the holding area. He goes to the holding area.
But I think with that many bodies, maybe no, because they brought the thing back from.
It's probably a city morgue.
It's city morgue.
I felt like that was a city morgue.
Okay. Yeah. So we're in the morgue. We get down there. Yeah, right. There's a bunch of bodies. We get down there. They find the thing. They go. Lorraine touches it, and then she starts narrating to Ed what she sees. Cool. And she's back in the area where it's like, it's orange, a lot of darks. And she's like, I'm down here, and I hear a train, and there's a river, and I see an altar, and it's a Satan altar. You know what I mean? It's a satanic altar. And she walks over. There's a weird chalice and all this shit going on. And then through the body of the woman who was cursed to the woman who's cursing, what's his nuts? Arnie. She's like, oh, I can see now that in the jail cell, she's fucking with him right now. He put down the thing of holy water, and she's ignoring it. And now she's breaking the bottle in his hand, and she's starting to slit his own wrists and whatever. And so Lorraine's like, the jig is up. Oh, sorry, James.
I just want to say, I love that they were trying to protect Arnie. So they gave him tools that he could use to kill himself. It's like here, take this blessed noose. It will protect you. like, he would have been fine with nothing, but the fact that they gave him holy water in a bottle that he could turn into glass, into a very sharp piece of glass, is what put him in danger.
Yeah, that was true.
And so because the priest, he doesn't know. They I forget, somebody called him and said, hey, keep an eye on him or whatever, and he's like, got it, I'll give him this holy water. Perfect, I know exactly what I'm doing. Again, showing that Ed should just make the Brad Pitt move and become a Mizzou graduate. I digress. So then Lorraine's like, I forget what she says something that in my Catholicism, and granted I have not been trained in offensive Catholicism. You know, I can't exorcise a demon, and I can't do anything. But she screams something that sounds fucking dope as shit. I forget what it is. It's something like, "Stop fucking doing this by the power of the Citadel." I'm like, I have no fucking idea what you're referencing right now, but like, you know, the fucking thing breaks and Arnie's let go, and Witchy Woman looks over and she's like, "How are you doing this?" And it's just this great scene of the villain and the hero being there, like, "How are you doing this?" Like, what? And she's like, "The power of Jesus lets me do all this shit." And she's like, "Well, my God gives me power. Your God has damned you," or whatever. And then back in the real world, right? She's following her out of this, and she's out there now. And so Ed's there watching Lorraine. Lorraine and him can't talk anymore. And so she's like, "You know what? There's a big old fat biker dude over there. Let's wake that guy's ass up and have him just fucking take Ed down." And so big old zombie dude gets up and he starts running, and then Ed yanks her away. And then once the connection's broken, the body collapses lifeless to the floor.
That's a great scene.
Great scene.
Similar to when we got in Annabelle, the Annabelle that was in the house. So I think it must have been Annabelle Comes Home. Yeah. Where it's like down the hallway, there's the big guy running. Mm-hmm. Big guy's running naked. Scary stuff.
Oh, it's scary.
You can speak from experience. We've shared a lot of hotel rooms.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
So I like to wake you up. Time for a panel. Get up.
The human alarm clock.
It's time for a
Greg.
Panel.
Oh, panel. I think it said pill. I was like, who's feeding who a pill?
Gia gives me special pills to give Tim, and it's a lot like giving him a Porty, where I like gotta get on top of him, put him in his mouth, and cover Tim's mouth. Swallow, Tim. Anyways, though, the body's dead again. So they go back to their house. And this is where there's more of a conversation about what the fuck's going on. Lorraine, you know, new usual shit from Ed of like, "Lorraine, you took too many chances, you know, blah, 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 blah." And Ed's like, and another thing, and like his heart starts going right, and he keels over. And he wakes up then in his bed in his own house, but no one's there. And so he goes around the house looking for Lorraine, of course, finds a rosary beads. He's like, "This is weird." Finds the door kicked in. He's like, "This is super weird." And then Witchy Woman's there. And the Witchy Woman's like, "So this is your shit, huh? This is what you're all up to." And he's like, "How'd you get in here? What are you doing? Blah, blah, blah." And she's like, No, you know, fuck you. I got the kind of shit. I got the kind of witch shit you wish you had. You know what I mean? And he's like, "What does that mean?" And she's like, "Bah!" She disappears. But then zombie fat man's back. And so he starts making a move. And Ed's like, "I got this." And he's got his rosary. And he starts saying some really fucking, again, I don't know offensive Catholicism, but he's got some shit in there I've never heard, right? I've thought through what I'd say fighting the demon. This guy's got me beat. You know what I mean? And he's like, "Oh, man, you know, Citadel and this and Joshua and this," and he's backing him out. Yeah, Nick, what do you got?
Can you give me like a 20-second version of what you say when the demon comes at you?
much like my zombie plan, I won't tell you in case you ever are the demon I need to fight. You know what I mean?
I mean, probability on that too.
Yeah, for sure.
Huge. Yeah, I'm first to
you know,
go,
demons
sure.
like to come to those closest to you first. You know, we've seen it once, we've seen it twice.
I got a direct.
Well, also
through line of the
receptive
devil.
vessels.
Oh yeah,
exactly.
yeah. Really
and Nick will accept anything into any orifice.
Easy come, easy go. Easy come, easy go.
They'd offer you a cream pie.
He backs the biker guy into the corner or whatever, and he's like, "Yeah, fucking, I command you," or whatever. And then he comes up and he's got a fucking butcher knife. You're like, "Whoa, I didn't see that coming." And he goes to do it, and bam, a cameraman grabs his arm. We're back in reality. Lorraine's there crying, and he's like, "Whoa, the shit that she used to make Arnie kill Boris or whatever his fucking name was. Now oh my god!" And it's like, "I'm sorry," and like, this is how we know. Like, this shit's real, right? This is when we have all confirmed this shit is real. But like Ed, again, Patrick Wilson, what an actor, right? We knew it from Aquaman. We've gotten it 3 times here in The Conjuring, cuckoo. You know what I mean? But he throws the fucking switch, right? And he goes like, "I'm so sorry." And then he's like, "Where is it?" And like, "What? Where's what?" And he's like running around and like, first off, I understand. You almost had a heart attack. You passed out. You woke up. You fought a demon. You almost killed your wife. But his first reaction is to flip the couch cushions. And the couch is like, nobody's coming in and like, you're not coming in with a totem like this and putting it like that and then putting a couch cushion on it.
Well, that's where his meter's running out. That's not real. That's unrelated to totem.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So he flips all this shit. He's looking for it. He can't find it. And he runs in the other room. He's fucking, where's this? Where's that? Blah, blah, blah. Looking in his drawers and shit. And then finally, Lorraine looks over at all the flowers that were there for him being sick or whatever. And there's one set of dead ones. She's like, "When did those come?" And they just got here yesterday and they were fine. They smash the shit out of that real tiny totem. You know what I mean? Totems come in all shapes and sizes, they say.
Teeth size, some would say.
Yeah.
Teeth size, some might say.
Sure. I was going to go little Debbie cream pie size. You know what I mean? And not the big old cream pies we had at the office, the smaller ones that I used to eat as a kid.
Someone cream pied in my vase.
If I message Joey and say, "Tell me about the cream pies." Is she gonna know what I'm talking about?
No, but it'll be great. I urge you to do that. I urge you to do that. So yeah, so then it's like, all right, cool. We need to really get cracking on this. This is where the movie literally goes 0 to 100. Lorraine's like, listen, I got the book that has more information in it, but I need a translation, so I got to go talk to that creepy ass priest. And Ed's like, cool, you go. Me and camera guy are going to try to crack the code on what's going on with all this shit. And Lorraine's like, peace, thank you very much. She bounces off. Ed and the guy got like, all right, we got these 2 pins here. We got what's happening right now with them. We got what happened with David. And then we got a pin all the way over here. And they keep saying, oh, she went to college. She went to college. She went to college. Nobody ever asked where the fuck this girl went to college. Finally, like, where did she go to college? And the camera guy's like, wait, I just read something about that. As if it'd be that hard to remember. She went to fucking Worcester State University or whatever the fuck it was. Turns out that's like 10 minutes away. It's a local situation. We got a local situation on our hands. This isn't international, everybody. This demon and the witch are all staying close. Huh?
Mm-hmm. London was 2. This is Conjuring 3, baby.
Yeah, exactly. So now all right, cool. We got to stay close. Where would we know? It's a needle in a haystack thing. No, it isn't. We have the facts, the train tracks, the water. It was a midnight thing when our train's running, and camera guy's like, listen, bro, I know all about trains. No passenger trains would be running at night, so it's got to be the freight line.
This guy knows a lot about trains. I'm just gonna throw that out
waiting
there.
In the wings. He's waiting for some sort of possession to come train related stuff.
Mm-hmm. This is definitely one of those situations where if you wanted to sit there and go, man, should I give my money to HBO Max or should I give it to Disney Plus?
Yeah.
All right. This is the situation. This one man. Because HBO Max, who is this guy? He's cameraman, and apparently he knows a lot about trains. Mm-hmm. If this was a Disney fucking franchise, I would have 8 episodes about this cameraman and how his dad got run over by a train, his mom fucked Optimus Prime, and I'm all in on Gene. Gene knows trains. I get it. He's a part train. I would understand it. I would be excited for when the Conjuring universe hands the baton to Gene, and he's like, I'm going to get my own cameraman and go out there and get some fucking demons. But here I am on HBO Max, and I got to wait now. Who filmed this fucking thing? Who made this movie?
Lionsgate.
Yeah.
No, it's not right. No, Warner Brothers.
You mean James Wan, but I don't know Chade.
Yeah. I gotta wait for the Michael Chade cut now of this fucking thing. 4 hours, black and white, 4x3 to find out why Gene knows so much about trains. But here I am waiting. Anyways, he lays out all the information. And we get the classic just Ed, oh dear God, you know what I mean? Of like, and then we cut over and it's just Lorraine driving by a river and some railroad tracks. And she runs up to the father's house. She's like, I need a translation. He's like, sure, I'm going to go in and check on that. And he goes in and just disappears. And she finally comes down and it's all creepy. And she goes in there and it's just like, he just starts, the exposition starts. You know what I mean? Of like, I need a translation. And he's like, it's not even about that. Let me show you some old photos and confess that I had an affair and I had a baby. And then we had to keep the kid away from everybody, to keep it away from the parishioners and all this other stuff. But then I was going after the Rams cult people. And then she took the wrong lesson from it and thought that was really cool. Not the part about fighting evil, but being evil. And he shows her a picture of age 10 and that, if I'm lying, I'm dying. That is the witchy woman at age 10. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And Lorraine's like, oh no, this is bad. Meanwhile, this is all happening. You've got the planes of action, right? So you got Ed and Gene over here. Now Ed's, taking off. We got the witchy family stuff happening here. And then over at the prison, right? Like, I think they actually called the chaplain and priest, right? And they sent little Debbie over there and they're like, listen, pray over the thing. We think it's going to happen tonight. Pray over Arnie or whatever. Arnie's in there. They're praying over him. All shit's going to start breaking. I'm just going to get it all out. While everything's happening elsewhere, Arnie eventually, he wakes up. They do an exorcism. He slips out of his bonds. The glass all explodes. He gets a piece of glass that he's going to stab himself. We'll catch up with him in about 30 minutes. Back over here now, right? Yeah, I fucking had a kid and she went super evil and this fucking sucks. Sorry, you got to deal with this or whatever. There's a bunch of tunnels. It turns out she's probably been doing the witch shit down there. You know what I mean? Because she knows the tunnels super well. She's down there. She's like a Ninja Turtle. She just knows the tunnels backwards and forth. They're delivering pizzas to 34 and a half to her. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so this all happened. Like, well, that's really fucking bad. And then like they hear some footsteps or whatever the fuck. And so Lorraine, she runs into the tunnels. And then witchy woman comes in, and the father's like, "Oh man, sorry, I was a bad dad to you." Yada yada. And she's approaching. And then bam, she's behind him. She slits his fucking throat, puts his head on the desk. You're like, damn, I never liked this father character, but that was a cool way to kill him. You know what I mean? And so witchy woman's like, cool. The chase is on. She goes into the tunnels, right? And so they're down there, and this is where there's a lot of action. A lot of things are happening. Ed pulls up. And he's like, Lorraine. She's like, ah. And he runs over and there's like a giant storm grate. And he's like, this must be where the Ninja Turtle pizza gets delivered. And he's like, I'll help you. I'll come down there or whatever. So he eventually comes down. They run into, she runs, Lorraine is running slowly from Witchy Woman. We can kind of see Witchy Woman's views every so often. We get to the table where there's the chalice and all the shit and the giant altar or whatever. And she's like, I gotta destroy the altar. That's how we'll finally end the curse once and for all or whatever. Then Ed gets down there. And then Ed's looking for her. Ed gets a sledgehammer and then gets possessed, or does he get possessed and he gets the sledgehammer?
I think he gets the sledgehammer first because he has to like break through the
house.
One detail worth noting is that they establish that if she has to complete the curse by getting like her triple threat or whatever. She needs to get a hat trick, right? So she needs to get the girl, and then she's got Arnie, and she needs one more to like suffer from the curse. Otherwise, because she needs a soul to offer up. Otherwise, the demon's going to take a soul from somewhere else.
Right.
The demon collects on its debts. So there's like this whole thing where if they can break the altar, then she won't be able to collect on those souls.
Right.
Yeah.
And also,
I totally lost that.
Worth noting, Joey thinks you had some weird banana cream pies in the office for months because no one wanted to eat them.
How many cream pies have you guys
Honestly,
had?
that is accurate.
That is possible.
There were some weird banana things nobody wanted, but the Little Debbie oatmeal cream pies, I used to do a lunch. I used to have a lunch, do games daily, do a lunch, and then get another cup of coffee and one of them big old Little Debbie oatmeal cream pies.
I had no idea we had these in our office.
Yeah, they were on top of the fridge. You're too short.
Yeah,
that's where I put all the
too short. I am too short.
What I mean?
And that was a good play right there because I loved if I was ever good for a day, I was probably like 3 or 4. And we go to the corner store, and my mom would get me a pack of these. So fucking good.
When it's all said and done, Barrett, we're getting some Little Debbies. I'll tell you, you and me, we're going to be cream pieing left and right. Me and Barrett. You know, that's what it's all about.
Well, hold on a minute.
All right.
Okay.
Anyways, so now Ed's possessed and he's walking around. He's going to smash Lorraine in the head like fucking Triple H would. You know what I mean? Just Hell in a Cell Triple H. Just clearly covering it with his hand, but it's still cool. And so he's walking around and Lorraine's like, no, gazebo, remember the rain. And he's like, and eventually she's like, you know what? I'm going to roll the dice. And she like kind of gets under the altar and she's like, the gazebo, small teeth. And he's like, and he smashes the fucking altar and the altar's smashed. And meanwhile, we're caught up now to fucking Arnie over there who's like, and he drops and everybody runs in and stops him now. And so then the thing gets smashed and they get to embrace Ed and Lorraine like, we did it. Yeah. And they turn around and who's there? Witchy Woman. And Witchy Woman's got the knife. And then it was like, her hand breaks, the knife drops or whatever, and they're like, you needed a soul by whatever, and so now it's come to take its soul. It always demon always collects its debts. And then Witchy Woman turns, well, actually she gets completely fucking broken and turned around on her own, and she's like got the drool hanging from her mouth. And then the Witchy Woman demon version is there, and she goes, and then Witchy Woman's dead.
Just stabs her in the face with her hand.
Ghost when they drag the guys away.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Actually, a lot of this movie is stolen from Ghost.
Yeah, that's true. It's accurate. Well, Ghost is actually based on Ed and Lorraine's adventures. You know what I mean? Like
the one time they met Patrick
Conjuring
Swayze,
4 is going to be them busting Patrick Swayze's ghost. You know what I mean?
That's amazing.
So then anyways, now it's all that ends well, kind of, right? That's done. They embrace. That's happy. They take the chalice and they put that in the souvenir curse room. Then Arnie's going in to the courthouse, and Little Debbie runs up looking like Jackie K with like all this stuff. And she kisses him. She's like, I love you. And he goes in there and he's like, don't worry, everything's gonna be okay. And he sits down and they're like, you're guilty of manslaughter. Get in fucking jail. And so he goes to jail just for 5 years. Little Debbie marries him, and they are still married to this day.
He doesn't even say the devil made me do it. How are you not going to have that line? Sure, they have it with the real footage in the credits, but what? Come on, say the thing.
I didn't miss it. I didn't long for it, you know?
Oh, I definitely did.
I just like thinking about using it. You know what I mean? Like I won't lie to you. This is now in my repertoire where I'll do something, Tim, that you're not going to like one day. Kind of funny. And you're like, why would you do that? And I'm going to go, that's what made me do it. And you're going to be like mad at me because I fucking sunk the company, but you're like, that's pretty good though. That's a pretty good joke. You know what I mean? And then Ed builds Lorraine a gazebo. Nick, what do you got?
Can I throw out there for your edification? Tim goes, it's time to go home, guys. And he reaches into his back pocket to get his key, and he comes out with just a handful of cream pie. And you go, the devil made me do it.
Devil made me
Wow.
do it. This
yeah.
gazebo moment, I hated the flashbacks, hated all that stuff. Loved it. Fucking Ed and Lorraine forever. Him building this goddamn remake of the gazebo they fell in love in. Are you kidding me? What an award-winning husband, man.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, Greg kind of glossed past the him zapping out of his trance, but she talked about, like, she has a great line where she's like, she thinks that our love is our weakness, but it's not, it's our strength. And he's like, oh, and then Thor's hammer down on the altar, which was cool. Pretty much all that stuff in the cave I thought was really cool. I thought really well shot. Specifically, I think you guys may have brought it up, but the shot where she's running towards, she's like, Ed, she runs toward him, and then like in 1 second of shadow, she changes over to the witchy woman and like blows the dust in his face and shit like that. All that stuff was super cool for me.
Yeah.
Cool. And there we go. That's it.
Yeah, I liked when it pulled out and the gazebo was shaped like a cream pie.
It was crazy, right?
Big
Really
twist.
nice.
Didn't see
And
that
then you
coming.
realize your entire life, every gazebo you ever seen is shaped like a cream pie.
Cream pie.
Whoa. Devil made them all do it. It's crazy stuff. Nick, can you hit me with some Raggy Baggy, please?
Dun 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 dun. At least say
Ragu.
dun 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 dun. Now say bagu.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Rad Guys Talk Bad Guys, the podcast within a podcast where we rank multiple things in the Cuckoo. That's right. If you don't remember, it's a two-parter here in Cuckoo in Review. Ragu Cuckoo consists of 2 segments: the best scare, unranked, and then, of course, the best beastie, ranked. We'll start with the best scare, unranked, to refresh everybody, to give you a little cream pie taste to get you going. All right. Number 1 from the Conjuring, because it's in the order of where they came in the movie. So Conjuring 1 was the fucking clap. In Annabelle, we said girl to crazy woman in the doorway. In Conjuring 2, we said the nun to the hallway to the painting. In Annabelle Creation, we said the sheet ghost bunk beds. Then we said the nun hands in the casket and the silver spoon. That is, I don't remember what that means.
I don't remember that.
Okay.
In La Llorona, we said the car. And then it's a scary as fuck movie I wrote. Darling Daddy, the TV, the ferryman. Annabelle comes home.
It was like the entire room section.
Gotcha. Okay.
Of Comes Home. It was like back to back a lot of when they were stuck in there. Yeah.
Oh, it's the scariest movie, and we listed everything that happened in there. I see what you did. Okay.
Yeah.
What is the best scare from The Conjuring? The Devil Made Me Do It.
I feel like we talked about it a bunch. It's the beginning exorcist, the kid. It's just.
Is it the exorcism or is it the
hands?
The hands, the shower sequence. How narrow do we have to be for this? Because I feel like
Greg did an entire like set piece for a movie, which was featured like for like 20 minutes. So.
I feel like the exorcism. I feel good saying that.
Yeah, I do too.
Freaky.
Yeah,
it's a bunch.
It's like not so jump scary,
micro scares. Yeah,
exactly. It's like there's not one moment, but there's like it's a really well done thing where every character in the scene is doing something that is unnerving.
I do want to throw out the scare of, because it got me when Lorraine's running at him in the cave, and then it just turns directly into and like blows the. I was like, oh, what the shit? That actually got me, even though I kind of knew something was up, but I was like, it got me. Cuckoo.
All right, now it's time for the ranked section of Ragu Cuckoo for best beastie. This is where we rank the villains of the Ragu Cuckoo. Number 1 is Valak in The Conjuring 2. Number 2 is Annabelle in Annabelle Comes Home. Number 3 is Annabelle's Demon in Annabelle Creation. Number 4 is Bathsheba in Conjuring. Number 5 is Annabelle's Demon in Annabelle. Number 6 is The Nun in The Nun. And number 7 is La Llorona from La Llorona. Where are we putting Witchy Woman?
I think pretty highly. I like her. I think she's very compelling. I think that she's like, again, like we talked about, because she is human and has sort of like those motivations and actually like goes on the offensive with them. I thought that was really, really cool and scary. And then the look of her is also very, very freaky as well, especially so it's kind of like that vampire at the end where she turns into the demon, which is super cool.
I would make an argument for number 1 over Valak personally, because I feel like, again, what we're talking about here in terms of, and it's cheating, but it is, you know what I mean? It is the fact that she brings the fight to Ed and Lorraine at their house, which I super dug. She almost makes Ed kill Lorraine. She, infiltrated the house. She knows what's up. She's able to go back through Lorraine's vision. And then, what we're saying is like, I feel like her motivations make sense or whatever. Like even for Valak at number 1 for Conjuring 2, it was originally like, she had good scares, but why was she doing this or why was she doing that? I feel like, here it is. All right, cool. I have a curse. I owe the demon something. I'm doing this. And now I've got to step up to fight the good guys too.
Yeah.
Wait, our number 1 right now is
Valak
What are
Conjuring
Valak
2.
and Conjuring 2, and then where is the Annabelle Comes Home?
Annabelle and Annabelle Comes Home is number 2.
Yeah, I put this in number 3 personally.
Wow.
See, like for me, because I just find supernatural villains to be so much a scarier threat because they're so like ubiquitous and omnipresent, and like you can't necessarily track them. You don't know how to kill them like a human. You can, stab in the heart, but when it's supernatural, it's like, what do we do? How do we fight this force? I get what you're saying, Greg, about the motivation because I do think that's fairly strong.
She has depth.
But I like for me, and maybe because it's newer too, but like I'm always more scared by something that's supernatural than I am.
Sure. I just feel like I hear you and I understand that, but I feel then it's always like for me it's the thing of what we don't know, or when something's not happening in this movie, it makes sense because there's another human somewhere behind it not pulling the string. Whereas when we're watching something supernatural, it's always that thing of like, well, why aren't they just fucking doing everything all the time? Why aren't they doing this at this point? Why are they trying to feed off of the fear or whatever? Why not just kill them right away?
See, my problem with that though is that leads to not that many scares later in the movie. Like the more human the villain gets in this, it's kind of it becomes more of a thrilling action movie than it is an actual horror movie. And I actually think like we've had this issue before with these movies where the action takes you out of it. Like The Nun was just like, wow, this is really bad. Whereas the action in this was still interesting and I liked it. I thought they did a good job. So I still want to rank them high because I think that the way that they were playing human against human and all that stuff like was shot well and was thrilling.
But I thought she was sort of supernatural, and that's what I liked about it was that as the demon, as she killed more and more people, she got those powers, and she was I never felt like they were going up against necessarily human. I thought they were always outmatched, and could only beat. What are we calling her? Witchy woman? What are we?
Witchy woman.
Witchy woman. The witchy woman by like actually like teaming up together and like I don't know. I thought that was more compelling than the ghost that just you seemingly change the rules every single 5 seconds with like what they can and can't accomplish.
I appreciate everyone's perspective on it. I think that it has depth which the other ones don't. But in terms of actually being scary, I didn't think that she was that scary. I would be leaning more kind of where Tim is saying, because I think she has scare potential. She was a great like antithesis, which I like. But I thought that I think it's a comfortable place there. I think she would definitely belong in like the 3.
Okay, well we can. Oh, sorry, Nick, what do you got?
James, would you say she scares because she cares?
I would say that she doesn't care.
Okay.
No.
Or she cares too much.
Absolutely. Maybe she cares too much. No, I don't think she cares that much at all.
Okay. So then, Elisa, are you at number 3 as well?
I could land at 3.
And that's what you said, right, Tim? I didn't.
That's what I said, yeah.
Okay, then. Yeah, then it looks like you guys have the votes. So to go number 1, Valak and Conjuring 2. Number 2, Annabelle and Annabelle Comes Home. And now number 3, the witchy woman herself, the witchy woman in Conjuring. The Devil Made Me Do It.
All right, Elise, it's your time to shine.
I mean, I would say it's a very prestigious position because this is not a James Wan. And it's not one of our favorite films. Like we'll see where the rankings fall, but like I think that she is going to have a higher ranking than her film might. So, sorry, at least
7 syllables in the middle. I honestly,
5.
Got 5 in the first and last line. If you have
You're
to,
not poetic.
I honestly
don't need to sweat it. Haikus don't.
How does it?
If you're not poetic, you don't need to sweat it.
7 syllables in the middle. Got 5 for the first and last line. If you're not poetic, don't need to fret it. Haikus are hard to rhyme. Haiku.
Perfect. So a lot of people say those are the preferred lyrics for that song.
Yeah.
So we're good to go.
Go to patreon.com/kindafunny to write your review in haiku form, just like. Let's see what we got here. Joe Mertens. Nope, not Joe Mertens. These are combined with a bunch of other movies. Sorry. Grant Burton did. Grant Burton says, in an exorcism, the demon switches bodies. He then kills someone. They take him to court. The devil made me do it. Good luck proving that. An old murder case. Some wacky medium stuff. Big guy in the buff. It's the occultist. They must destroy the altar. Bring out the hammer. He was found guilty. I guess it was for nothing. That's The Conjuring. And then, of course, Miscellaneous does the plot in haiku. Edward and Lorraine, with every demon they've slain, harder to sustain. Ed wakes from slumber, says he's got Arnie's number. He's been encumbered.
Damn.
Connection she tracks. Steam candles
makes
made in
sense.
black. Cadaver attack. Invades their abode. Condensation overflowed. Ed's vengeance she goads. Hammer she avoids. Fighting spells the witch deployed. The altar destroyed. Miscellaneous always coming through and just straight killing it.
Yeah.
You love to see it. Love to see it. Now it is time to rank the cuckoo once and for all until the next one happens, which I don't even know. Do you guys know what's the next announced one? Is there?
Well, Crooked Man, they were talking about making a Crooked Man movie, but I don't know if that's the next one.
Well,
Or
interesting
nine.
stuff.
Starring James.
Whenever it happens.
And Stormy, they called me up. They
We'll be
said,
right
"Are you
there.
free?" I said, "You know, for you, of course."
I am.
Little teeth.
So currently, number 1, The Conjuring. Number 2, Annabelle Creation. Number 3, Conjuring 2. Number 4, Annabelle Comes Home. Number 5, The Nun. Number 6, The Curse of La Llorona. And number 7, Annabelle. Where
I'm not gonna lie, I really was looking. I thought we were gonna have an image for this.
We don't, because
What is 1 and 2 and 3? Sorry.
Conjuring, Annabelle Creation, Conjuring 2,
Gotcha.
Annabelle
Thank
Comes
you.
Home. Does
I
I
could
think
put
we all
this-
agree it's at least that high, correct?
Yeah.
Yes, I would.
I could put it above The Nun.
Okay.
Below
so
Annabelle Comes
beneath
Home?
Annabelle Comes Home.
Hmm.
What happened in Annabelle Comes Home again?
I might
Exactly.
feel. I might feel like I put it above Annabelle Comes Home,
That's what I'm
below
thinking.
Conjuring
Below
2.
two.
I think there's.
Yeah.
I think it's negligible, but one. I thought the other one was made okay and had like some good, because that was like the haunted house one where like everything kind of exploded out and they had like the penny eyes guy and all stuff like that. This one I felt like we had Ed and Lorraine and we got them, and that's what I want from
the
this
problem.
series.
Every other movie is Training with Weights on.
Yeah,
True.
I'm wrong.
If it's got Ed and Lorraine, it's an instant bump.
I'm below Annabelle Comes Home. I think that one's stronger than this. So I'm
Okay.
with Elise, above The Nun.
Interesting.
I would put it at number 2. I would put it underneath Conjuring number 1.
Wow.
I think for me personally, and I know we've gone around in these before, and I don't remember what I fucking said in the old episodes. For me, the Conjuring is the core strong one. So like the Annabelle kind of stuff. Annabelle Comes Home. Is that the one with the orphans in the house or whatever?
That's Creation.
No.
Which one's Comes Home?
Comes Home was that's the
Oh, when
one
they came
about
home to Ed and
their
Lorraine.
daughter.
Yeah.
In the room.
Yeah, it's about their daughter. Yeah.
And that's number 2.
No,
that is currently number 4.
Four.
That's
Which is crazy. We're crazy people. We rank these wrong, but it's where we're at.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. I would put it number 2. I think Conjuring 1 is the pure shit of like, this is what the Conjuring universe is, and it's set up obviously an entire cuckoo universe. And then I think this one is the strongest Conjuring since that one, in terms of like, I love Ed and Lorraine. I love what they're up to. I think they're keeping me on their toes. They're doing something interesting and different. Whereas Conjuring 2, I felt was a bit of a, not in a bad way, but rehash, right, of another haunted house. And here we are doing this thing, and it's the same old. I appreciated all the stuff they gave the team to do here. I appreciated Ed getting the heart attack early on and then being not at fighting shape the entire way through it. I liked having a villain that could go up against Vera Farmiga in the brain world. I don't even want to call it the psychic realm. I had a great time with this movie.
Interesting.
So Nick, where are you at?
I would be.
Number
I'd
1's
be-
Conjuring, 2 Annabelle Creation, 3 Conjuring 2, and 4 Annabelle Comes Home.
I would put it right below Annabelle Creation. I think that just had as a scary movie, that one had the biggest scares for me, and I thought had just like everything that you would look for in like this kind of a movie. I do like this a lot, so I'm gonna put it higher, but I just feel like that one terrified me. So from nothing else, I think it's gonna slip in right underneath that one for me.
Number 3.
So
Right,
let's do
number
the
3,
vote
yeah.
then. Who thinks it's better than The Nun? Raise your hand. Everybody raises their hand. Who thinks it's better than Annabelle Comes Home? Raise your hand.
Oh, okay.
Everyone but
Change
me
it up.
raises their hand. Who thinks it's better than Conjuring 2? Elise and James are both
Nick.
down. Greg and Nick have it up, which means that it is the new number 4, Conjuring. The Devil Made Me Do It. Like I said, we will return one day with James and Elise whenever they decide to continue the cuckoo, which is extremely exciting. Thank you guys for joining us for this fun adventure. Where can people find you?
Thank you guys. I love doing these. That was a blast. Greg's recounting of the plot was amazing.
It's like watching it again.
They can find us at Funhouse every single day.
Yeah.
YouTube.com/Funhouse and Rooster Teeth at Funhouse.
Yeah, you can follow us on social media. James Willems, Elise
And,
Willems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and in the theaters watching The Cuckoo.
Well, this one we watched on HBO Max.
True.
Disclosure.
We work
Warner
for
Brother employees, but that's just where we watched it.
Yeah.
Can you talk to them about getting me a Gene miniseries like I wanted?
Oh, we'll talk to him. I'll call him up. George Warner.
Can it be called Trains?
Exactly. Also, if you can help me out, if you notice, I tweeted at everybody on this podcast just an image of oatmeal cream pies, but I also tagged Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga in The Conjuring.
Oh, they'll know.
They'll know what it means.
They'll know.
Exactly. They'll get it.
Yeah, they'll get it. Well, we love you all. Let us know in the comments below what you think of The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. We will return with In Review with the wrap-up of Ninja Turtles In Review with Out of the Shadows, the Michael Bay classic. So that'll be a lot of fun, I'm sure. But until then, love you guys. Bye.